what do you think is most important? What qualities do you think are most important in that partner to have the type of long-lasting relationship that you would desire?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I definitely think it's like having enthusiasm for the relationship, for a lot of things in your life. Like, I have always been attracted to men who are passionate about something. And I think that passion is good for me because it inspires me to do more with myself. I think ambitious men are great, but ambition with self-awareness. You know, I like men who set goals and they take steps to get to the goal. It's not just one day I'm going to be a millionaire.
What qualities do you think are most important for you in a partner? And to add to that, how does that help shape the expectations you have of that partner? I'm going to come back to you, Ashley, now. Because I went to Chanel last time. I'm going to give you a minute.
Oh, man. So the qualities that someone so the qualities in a partner and
like what do you think is most important? What qualities do you think are most important in that partner to have the type of long-lasting relationship that you would desire?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I definitely think it's like having enthusiasm for the relationship, for a lot of things in your life. Like, I have always been attracted to men who are passionate about something. And I think that passion is good for me because it inspires me to do more with myself. I think ambitious men are great, but ambition with self-awareness. You know, I like men who set goals and they take steps to get to the goal. It's not just one day I'm going to be a millionaire.
Well, I would call those dreams.
Yeah, those are dreams.
More than goals.
But there are men who honestly view it as a goal. Like, because,
no.
But like no tangible steps.
Yeah, or they're taught like, I'm going to be a crypto shark.
No. Wait, hold on. Let me PSA that real quick, because I agree with you. If you think you're about to be out here and you're going to become a millionaire, you're going to have these grand visions for the future, and you have no steps that you've laid out on how you're going to get there, you're dreaming, my friend. Please continue.
Thank you. But no, I think the qualities I really appreciate in a partner are also like selflessness, general compassion for people, understanding, patience, just generally being a kind person. One thing like I really don't like in men is like this kind of like aggression or anger that they carry with them sometimes. And I think a lot of that might be like internalized from how people treated them and they feel like they have to return it. I also don't appreciate like one thing like for me to have a long lasting relationship is like I am obviously very opinionated and strong in those opinions. But,
you said strong.
Yeah, but I like men who don't feed the fire with fire, if that makes sense. Like
exercise restraint.
I really like men who are patient in that sense with me when they understand, like, because I could rant and like go off. And what I've always appreciated in my partners is that they're not really like that. They're very like, okay.
Because you need somebody maybe to compliment you more.
Exactly. Like instead of making me worse, like make me understand like why this may not be a big deal, because I am receptive to feedback like that. You know, I'm not one of those women that's like, I'm going to be crazy and you got to be crazy too, because then we're both crazy and it all makes sense.
We're just amping each other up.
Yeah, like I prefer like someone more calming, someone more like mature in that sense, because like I'm not always the most calm and mature person. So if someone is able to kind of keep me in check, then moving forward, I'll understand like when I express things, it doesn't have to escalate.
Absolutely. I like that way you define that too, because it's funny. I had one of my first clients. She was like that, and she talked a lot about how what's her fiance now, but she was she viewed him so favorably because she had a lot of energy with pretty much everything that she did, and he was very, very calm. He was the complete opposite of her. And we talked about that. Like, yeah, I think that's a good compliment, because sometimes you don't want to feel like you're being antagonized by that person because they say something and then they take it the wrong way and then they amp you back up, or like this eye for an eye mentality. I actually talk to guys that liked about that a lot, even if the woman's not necessarily, let's say, as energetic. That I think people respect that a lot about guys when we can be level-headed. And that's why I said exercise restraint, because I had this conversation with this other man. Oh, no, sorry. It wasn't a conversation. I was watching a video about this military guy, and I really resonated with it. Like, I went on a whole 10-minute discussion about it. Because he talked about how men have the capacity, women do too, but men in particular have the capacity to do very violent things. But it's also understanding when it's appropriate.
Yeah.
I believe everybody has a capacity to be violent or disrespectful, mean, rude, whatever word you want to use. Men in particular, obviously we have more testosterone, so biologically it tends to push us more that way. But the ability to exercise restraint, to me, that's important. Now, that doesn't mean, because we don't believe in extremes, that doesn't mean you let somebody walk all over you and disrespect you, right?
Right.
But also, to go back to your point about being aggressive, I know what that was like because that's what I grew up with. That's very intimidating. That doesn't foster a warm and inviting environment for us to actually connect. That teaches me, like, I'm about to keep to myself because I said one thing and this dude lost his mind. So I don't want to foster that either. So I'm going to do is say, you know what? Okay, she said something. I didn't like the way she said it. So I'm going to collect myself and then take a moment and sit her down and say, listen, when we have these type of discussions, I would appreciate it if you didn't speak to me in this manner, because this is how I interpreted that and this is how it made me feel. Because that gives you an opportunity to reflect on your actions. And if you respect what I think, you will modify your behavior.
Yeah.
Not because I controlled you, not because I told you to, because you respect me and you hear what I have to say. And the same goes in reverse from me to you.
Yeah.
So I think for men in particular, that's very important. Because yes, again, we have the capacity to do these things, but that's not something to me that we need to celebrate as like the end all be all. But when I'm talking about my partner, my children, family, just people I value, I don't need to go to that degree, man. I want to be able to be like, no, when people talk about me, it's like, man, that dude is really, really relaxed. He is very methodical and he thinks very deeply about things that he wants to say before he presents them. And when I'm upset, I go to him and he brings calming energy to me.
Yeah.
Because I understand that this man's got more sense of self-control than maybe some others do. And that's not absolving women, it's not absolving men, it's not absolving boys or girls. It's just to say, I think that those are attributes I have learned from being in relationships with women that they appreciate.
Yeah, and it's not like being a robot. There's a difference between like being a robot and like not letting yourself have emotions, and then there's a difference between self-control and you know, bringing the peace to the situation. Absolutely. And I think like for long term too, it's also like just respect, you know, respect for your friends, respect for your family, me as a partner, my insight. Like my strongest relationship points have always been when someone who I perceive, like, because I hold my partners in high regard, because I hold myself in high regard, you know, and like one thing that I've always admired in my male partners is they have never been afraid to ask me for my opinion. Like on some big life decisions they have to make, you know, what do you think about this? Or like, can you help me with this? You know, because at that point you're viewing me as a partner, you know, and I'm strong. I do the same thing. You know, what do you think about this and that and this and that? And, you know, really just acting as a team, you know. I
agree. So. And I end up using that word a lot too, to take away from the idea of, because again, when we say things like independence, that's very individualistic. So it's like self. Yeah. So I like to remind the team aspect, because then it makes you like, hold on. Yes, you're important. You are an important factor of this team, but understand that what you do impacts me and what I do impacts you. So let's celebrate that together. Yeah.